In this video, we're going to use a calculator to find powers of 10 and powers of e. Now the two most used logarithms are the common logarithm, and that's log, and the base for the common logarithm is 10, but we don't write it. So whenever you see log, we just assume that the base is 10. There's a natural logarithm, which is written ln. Here the base is e. And e is just a number, and it has a value that's close to 2.718. We use the letter e in the same way we use the letter pi to stand in place of a number which is close to 3.14. So log implies the base is a 10. So log 15, for instance, would be log with a base of 10 of 15. And ln implies that the base is an e. So if we said ln 15, it would be log base e of 15. And again, this number e is something close to 2.718. Now on your calculator, you have two buttons for powers of 10 and powers of e. And to access them, you first have to find your log and ln key. And then notice above the log key, you have a little 10 to the x. And above the ln key, you have a little e to the x. Now to access the 10 to the x and the e to the x, you'll have to first push the second function button. And you kind of know that because if you look at the colors of these two, it kind of matches this color. So to find a power of 10, you'll first push second and then log. And to find a power of e, you'll push second and ln. Now on a Casio calculator, we again have log key and we have an ln key. And above the log key, there'll be a power of 10, and above the ln key, a power of e. And on a Casio, they don't say second, they say shift. So you'll need to push the shift key, for instance, and then ln to access the powers of e. So I'd like you to practice using these keys. And to do that, I'll give you a number written in exponential form. And I'd like you to try to use your calculator to find this. And please round your answer to the 10,000th place, which is 4 places to the right of the decimal. So please try this one. In this case, you'd first have to use shift or second, and then the log key, and then in the exponent, put the 0.8451, and you'll get a number that's very close to 7. Try this one. In this case, I'll have to do second or shift and then ln. After putting in an exponent of 1.5, I get a value close to this. Here's another. In this case, after pushing the shift, for instance, and then the log key, I use this exponent and get a number very close to this. Here's the next one. After pushing shift or second function ln and entering the exponent, I get a number very close to this. And try this one. This should have been very close to 60.3403. And here's our last one. Remember, in this case, you'll have to do second or shift and then the log key, log. And here's the value. I hope you've found this video helpful when trying to find powers of 10 and powers of e.